Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Moon Moth espionage droid. For all the conspiracy theorists that all believe that the birds are drones for the government, this takes that to a whole new level. Um, looking at Wikipedia here, this thing is basically an insect droid packed with flying eye hardware, running a movement subroutine that makes it flutter overhead and bash itself into glowing lanterns. Uh, the Moon Moth espionage droid was a type of spy cam developed by Arcid Industries. Okay, the characteristics we have here, it was a very hard, or it was very hard to tell apart from the real moon moth, a common pest on hundreds of planets. Its operating distance was up to 10,000 meters, since it was easily overlooked and often dismissed as a small insect. It was useful as an espionage droid. They obeyed only basic commands, including a self destruct command. They were also capable of disposing or depositing eggs on targets, which were actually tracking beacons. Uh, it's another one of these little droids that the Empire had come up with. Um, and there's another one that is actually kind of a small assassin droid. And if you really want to annoy the dickens out of your characters or whatever, or just to think about how dubious the Empire could be at trying to control everything. Um, to have these tiny little droids out there that will just record everything, bring it back. I'm guessing we just plug it in or whatever. However, they're getting that information downloaded off of the droid. It's an amazement to think of the technology that Star Wars actually has, and especially when we start having, you get people arguing which one's better, Star Trek or Star Wars. Keep in mind, when we watch a lot of the Star Wars, we're really looking at small little groups, usually out on the fringe and all that stuff. We don't get to see all the big, huge technological things that are being done outside of looking at the Clone Wars. And this is a big example. Think of the technology that is involved in creating a small droid like this to be able to, one, function, two, look like any other bug out there. And here we are. All right. History Den Dur used this device for spying on conversations between Philba the Hutt and Admiral Tarnis Blyde, in which he used a headset equipped with a display and a handheld control unit to operate the Moon Moth. He witnessed the death of Philba the Hutt remotely via the droid. The famed Moth was grabbed by Admiral Tarnis Blyde. As it flew past him, he crushed it with his hand. Crix Medine used a Moon Moth droid to track Durga uh, the city Tai on the Hoth asteroid field during the Dark Saber crisis. So, this is first seen here in Dark Saber, and then we also have MedStar 1 Battle Surgeons. Um, we also have the Essential Guide to Droids, official Star Wars fact file 97, which I believe was a magazine that was done, and the Bounty Hunter Code from the files of Boba Fett. Let's see. So that's where they're getting their information here uh, on Wikipedia. So now when we look at our actual droid here for the write up, um, Arcade Industries Moonmoth Espiage. I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly here this morning. My mind is just espionage droid. Um, it's only got a dexterity 2, which is really our average. Because you want to keep in mind in the D6 universe, 2D is your standard average person. Um, kind of like in Dungeons and Dragons, you have your average NPC, I think, only has like one hit point. So keep that in mind, okay? It has a dodge of 5D plus 2, has a knowledge of 1D, so below average, mechanical 1D, below average. It's not meant for any of those. Perception of 2D, has a hide of 6D, search of 3D, sneak of 6D. So um, those are the main skills it's going to use, just trying to blend in with everything else. Has a strength of 1D. Obviously, you can kind of crush it. And this is going to be, you know, when you come to strength, and this is where things kind of get a little skewed, is at some point we're going to get to Transformers. We're going to start bringing them in. Now, I don't know if I'm going to try and go through all stats. Probably not. But I will probably, we'll try and break this down. How can we bring them in? Because we more or less have kind of Transformers in Star Wars already. And we'll try and show examples of that that were brought up during the Clone Wars, and that's from George Lucas. So we'll just kind of keep some of this stuff in mind. Um, Now I don't know if this is going to be personal scale or if this would be a tiny scale, something underneath your personal scale. So just keep that in mind. So when we're talking about the strength here, what is your scale? So that's going to be a big thing. Technical is 1D. All right, and here's what it's equipped with. We have twin antenna, visual sensors, and electromagnetic field receptor. Has an encoded hyperwave signal transmitter slash receptor. So, for what the write up had said, the way these are used, these are an individual kind of spy droid. Okay, you're going to have some sort of device so you can listen and see what it's doing, and you can maybe kind of guide it in one direction or another, and that's how you're getting your information. I'm going to guess that whatever controller you have for doing this may have a recorder onto it, but it didn't state it. I will take for granted it probably does for whatever the life is, or you could download it onto your um, compad or whatever. Okay. Um, has a microscopic tracking device slash egg that it can drop down. Has 3 legs, 4 wings, and self-destruct system. So that way, if it comes to the point where it needs to be destroyed, otherwise it's going to be dissected or whatever, we can destroy it. Has a move of 3. So keep in mind your humanoid standard movement for a personnel scale character is going to be 10. Now Ewoks being um, shorter legs, they're going to go a little slower. This is doing a move of 3, so you get that kind of reference here. Size is only 6 centimeters long, so this is small. Um, and it's the technology that's in here, and it's very cool. These are, I don't know exactly how prevalent they are to come across. We do not have a price for these, so I'm going to guess you're going to have to be in a military sense to probably acquire them or whatever. Uh, Arkid, however it's properly pronounced, they are used to doing spy and espionage droids and all that. Keep in mind, this is the same company that had that spy droid that was launched from one of the Death Stars onto Hoth. That's the same corporation. They have a history of being able to do this. Um, so it's just that interesting thing, and here we are. It's a 6 centimeter long little spy droid. For all the people that believe that the government is spying on us with birds, I don't think they really need to. Um, Unfortunately, just like everyone else, we have this little brick in our pocket that does all the spying we need to do. And I'm sure they know how to turn it on so they can listen to me. So I will say hi to my FBI agent like everybody else does. And here we are. Um, it's another fun, wonderful droid that we can bring to everybody. Something that we don't typically see. And it leads some credibility for spy enthusiasts inside the uh, Star Wars galaxy that you're always being spied upon. Here, you possibly could be. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you in the next one.